was so egregious, so blatant, Marc J. Spears, that the NBA came down on Mark Cuban with a fine of all of $750,000. I call that money well spent in the grand scheme of things. The Dallas Mavericks' decision to restrict key players from fully participating in an elimination game last Friday against Chicago undermined the integrity of our sport. Oh, wait, Joe Dumars said that. I don't want to mock my man Joe Dumars, my guy.
Yeah, I was saying that.
That's my dude. That's my dude. My bad. The Mavericks' actions failed our fans and our league.
Have some more bass in your voice. Have some more bass in your voice. You're going to do Joe Dumars.
But I think 750, which is a lot to us, 750 says it all about the fact that, like, the Mavericks just did the quiet part out loud. Yeah, they were more blatant or more naked, as some have called it. But it's like everybody does it, because if this was really that bad, if this really undermined the integrity of the game, as I believe, Michael, I think you suggested this. They'd have taken the 10th pick if it was really that bad. Spears?
Yeah, no, I mean, I wonder what Cuban's collective total is from his time becoming an owner to, 99 or so?
Oh, my goodness,
or so to now. Boy, it's we
probably
talking about
figures.
deep in the millions there, right? But obviously he didn't care, and he knew what the end was probably worth what the result is, right? So,
correct.
I wonder what kind of after effect it has on the players, though, right? Because you, Luka in particular, you fight all season, and they kind of could have figured out a way still to get in. And no telling once you get in what happens. I mean, Oklahoma City Thunder are certainly, actually both 10 seeds, the Chicago Bulls too, show that as long as you get in, no telling what could happen from there. It would not be surprising to me if the Bulls win today. It would not be surprising to me if the Oklahoma City Thunder win today and end up being the 8th seed in the playoffs. So that's the thing that I feel more bad about, the players not getting the opportunity to decide it and potentially get in the playoffs. Then
that's right.
I mean, like when you make that much money, like, yeah, you get mad, but in the grand scheme of things, they knew what they were doing and knew what the risk was.
No, I totally respect that aspect of it, guys. And I would like to follow up by asking this, though. I totally respect that because, anything is possible, right, Kevin Garnett? But if you're the Mavericks and you determine that your best way for keeping Luka happy long term is keeping that 10th pick and maybe flipping it for a player that can actually help him compete for a championship, if in your evaluation you feel like the best thing in the macro is to not go for the immediate gratification of getting in the play-in and seeing what happens, and maybe you could be the 7th or 8th seed in a wide open West, but rather we need this pick because we need help in the long term, I don't have a problem with that. Optically, it may have looked bad, but practically, I got no issue with it, Michael.
But see, okay, if there could be some Black Panther-like version of Adam Silver going into the afterlife and having a brief conversation with David Stern.
You were wrong. You were wrong.
David Stern would be like, "What you doing? You know what? I was the king, man. I was the king. You know what I used to do to the people? I'd take 4 or 5 draft picks from people. I had Chris Paul. Chris Paul was traded to the Lakers. I got in the middle of that, and I sent him to the Clippers instead. I did all kinds of stuff because it was my league. And so Mark Cuban really just he trolled Adam Silver. He knew Adam Silver wasn't going to do anything. Man, this was, if all these things are true, think about what the NBA said. I'm just going by their words. If they said he failed our league, it was a violation of the player arrest policy, they lost on purpose, essentially, to protect their draft choice, and the fans knew about it. Think about those accusations. You should take a draft pick away. You should have done something more than a $750,000 fine. That was that's really a weak punishment. One of the weakest from Adam Silver. I'm surprised, Mark. I'm very surprised.
It might have been a little finger to the fact of the Warriors game and what happened there, and them not getting, any kind of change in the judgment on that referee call a couple weeks earlier. Certainly it seems to be the president, respectfully to Adam Silver, like when it comes to something like this, or when it comes to even like players being suspended for fighting. I remember, man, I covered Carmelo Anthony when he got, 15 games?
Yeah.
We've had guys do what he did to Marty Collins this season and get 2. And I'm like, Melo's like, shoot, give me my money back. Like, that affected their playoffs and his ability to mesh with Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was there for a couple of weeks before he could even play with Melo because of that suspension. So, yeah, this is certainly a different world, a different time. And I do think, rest his soul, David Stern probably would have been a lot harsher.
Yeah. So listen, you said a second ago we talked enough about a team that's not in the playoffs. Said a second ago you wouldn't be surprised to see the Thunder win. This wide open West, Michael and I were just talking about the possibility. Romance is about the possibility of the thing. The playoffs is about the possibility of the thing. We were talking about, like, what if LeBron and these new look resurgent since the trade deadline with a defense and shooting and role players around him and Anthony Davis healthy, these Lakers or even the Warriors, given their road struggles, but they're still the Warriors, still the champs, so somebody says otherwise. What if these teams manage to go on a run? So I guess just to kind of narrow the focus a little bit, not to go too broad, but the Kings have been this great story, but I don't know that too many people, other than Michael Holley, are actually picking the Kings to dethrone the champs in the first round.
Yeah.
How do you see that series? Matter of fact, are you going to that series? Are you going again? Because I would love to be there for free.
Am I
would love to be there for free.
That series?
You're driving, but you ain't paying. But you ain't paying though, because that ticket is out.
Why would I pay?
I know you would. I know you wouldn't. But I'm saying that the people who are, God bless you, given how much that ticket costs for their first playoff game if ever. But how do you see that series?
A long one, a great one. I really like the matchup between De'Aaron Fox and Steph Curry. Neither team really has a complete answer for them. It'll be interesting to see how the Warriors try to guard Fox, who's lightning quick, but he also has a ballet kind of body language to him. Like he just dances on the floor, and I'm so happy for him that the world gets to see how amazing he is. But Andrew Wiggins come in from such a layoff and give some length against Fox. Gary Payton II, I think he's going to get some early minutes to guard Fox if he gets going. And you see that big fella right there, Sabonis. I don't know that the Warriors have any answer for them. They're going to have to be really, really tough on the boards and keep Sabonis off of him. He's a triple-double machine. The thing is like, okay, how do the Kings respond if they get punched in the mouth in game one? This is a team that has been blessed with a lack of adversity. Nothing bad really has happened. They haven't had any injury problems. So I'm always curious about teams that have had such a blessing an entire season. Like when they do get hit in the mouth, if the Warriors win game one, do they stand up? Or do they start thinking, second guessing of whether they really are on that level? They got beat up recently by the Minnesota Timberwolves. They got beat bad by the Bucks, and so maybe there has been some questions. The Kings haven't played that great. Then you're bringing in a Warriors team who have proven that when their guys play, when their big three plays, they don't lose, right? This is the first round. So I think that's why there's a lot of people that have picked the Warriors, but I think it's going to be an amazing series, a great series. And you also got to remember that Mike Brown has a cheat code on the Warriors. He was around them for several years, so he knows everything about everybody and what their strengths and weaknesses and how to push the Draymond button to try to get some text.
Yeah.
I think all is fair, right? And I think Mike is certainly going to try to do everything in his power to have this team prepared to win. And it's this I-80 series, man. It's going to be cool, and I'm really curious to see like how many Kings fans can keep Warriors fans from buying tickets tomorrow.
Yeah, you know what, Mike and Spears, the Warriors. Look, now that the regular season is over, they got that 6th seed. Okay, they're in. Can I just say, this is a team, they talk a lot of trash, man. They talk a lot. and they're so confident. Like Klay Thompson, I don't see anybody who can beat us 4 times. Draymond, he's got his whole list of those who are really.
They earned that.
I'm saying, they've earned it. But I'm going to go here.
This ain't like Memphis talking, right?
Well, right. Not the same. Yeah. They've earned it based on what they've done in the past. Is it still present? I mean, are they still? When you look at them,
defending champs.
What that mean? Okay, so that means something to you.
Until they're
That's the only place confidence should come from, though. Like, there's
we're not talking about a Cowboys Super Bowl trophy. We're talking about a team that won last year.
Yeah.
So because they won last year, despite what we see this year, despite road struggles and inconsistency, you look at them as talking trash and be like, go ahead.
I think me and you are kind of right here because I'm just saying they have certainly a reason to have swag. They won a championship. Now, has this team played on the championship level this season? But what do you think of it?
Because they should have it. I'm saying, but now but we're looking at it.
But
we're more objective than they
are. Have they played amazing this season? Have they played consistently on a championship level? No. I do think they did finish the season strongly. But is this team playing capable of a team that you expect to win a title? I don't think so. But now, Wiggins has also been gone. He's back. Will he be able to help them? They're a small team. Look, man, the West is like an old WWF battle royal with all the guys in there fighting. I don't know who's going to end up out of this fight.
Dude,
the Kings could shock the world.
So many storylines.
Denver, Denver don't even get talked about. And they're the number 1 seed, right? Like every team.
The Suns don't lose with Kevin Durant.
I'll say, and I don't even want to say exception to 8th, right? I think every team in the West has the ability to get to that next round.
So the Lakers. So it's not just wishful thinking when it comes to the Lakers. That's the one. Before we pivot to the East, I want to get your take on just how good they could be moving forward, given how they've been flying the plane and building at the same time in the second half.
Can they stop Ja from going downhill? That's the thing. The Memphis Grizzlies like to run, but the Memphis Grizzlies also let their emotions get the best of them. Not having Adams, not having Clark, I think is tough. The key matchup is Jackson Davis. And Jackson is a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, but he also averaged a lot of fouls per game. I think he averaged 5 fouls per game in the Memphis series. He has to keep his foul trouble in check, which is going to be easier said than done against Anthony Davis. So to me, that's the key, man. If Anthony Davis plays on a level that we've seen him play in the bubble, this could be a really, really tough series for the Grizzlies. So, and he's playing at a high level right now. LeBron's going to take it to the next level back in the playoffs. All these series are must-see TV, man. I'm like,
that's right.
Get your popcorn ready.
Right. There are many seasons. There are many seasons. That's a whole new season, and there are many seasons in and of themselves, one series at a time.
Is this the first time where you guys would say, like, think about it. Like, Miami plays Chicago, right? That's going to be a seed. There is no playoff series on either side that you're like, I ain't going to watch that.
No. Well, but the thing about the East, though. Good. Hey, you said you wouldn't be surprised if Chicago won. You said you wouldn't be surprised if Chicago won.
I don't think I've ever said that.
Well,
in the first round.
In the first round. Okay, that makes sense. Because I wish DeMar DeRozan's daughter was going, because that even though Screaming Children.
Take her everywhere. Put her on
take
a
on that, but
jet
take her
with the
everywhere.
team.
Take her everywhere. Because she clearly is the X factor there. But the Eastern Conference, though, it feels like it's headed for another Boston-Milwaukee collision. But the thing I want to ask you about, though, Spears, before we get you out of here.
Don't sleep on the Sixers, though.
Well, that's what I want to ask you about. And you just talked to Joel Embiid. So talk to us about the Sixers' realistic chances. But more than anything, Mike, I just want to touch on the revisionist history. It feels like there's enough momentum at this point. to where Embiid is going to be this year's MVP. It feels that way, okay? Despite all the hue and cry and gnashing of teeth, it feels like it's going to be Embiid's award. Having said that, he said something to you. He was like, where was all that sympathy for me last year? Everybody talking about how the conversation is toxic right now. Where was all, I mean, come on, bro. There was plenty of people caping up for the process the last 2 years. Why does everybody, nothing does revisionist history quite like NBA MVP conversations, Mark Spears.
I'm so done with it. Go ahead.
Act like he was a redheaded stepchild. Come on, man. There's plenty of people thought he should have got it last year and the year before.
I take it as kind of like a dig on Joker and his comments about not caring. It's not a big deal. And trust me, it's a big deal to Embiid. He wants it. Also,
but the more important one is the finals one.
Or the debate on whether, Joker should have won it the last 2 years and that kind of stuff. Until it's done, I don't know. I know that Tim Bontemps did a straw poll in which Embiid would win, but it wasn't by a big margin. I don't know what to expect when it's all said and done, because there are people that might like Giannis. There might be people that might like Tatum. So ultimately, it could come down to who gets the most second-place votes, right? To end up winning this whole thing. It could be a winner that gets more first-place votes, but the latter votes push them over. So this is probably one of the more intriguing MVP ballots that we've ever seen, where every vote will literally count. And it could be about as tight. Like, I've never even really thought about one where there's 4 guys. And yes, Embiid is the clear-cut favorite, but maybe part of his talk is like, hey, I've been disappointed 2 years in a row. I'm not going to count my chickens before they're hatched, right?
But you said don't sleep on them in the Eastern Conference. You said don't sleep on them in the conference.
No, they're capable of being in the finals.
Because your boy Michael Holley will tell you that the Michael Jordan trophy is the more important trophy.
Thank you. I mean, it's like, stop.
I agree.
Okay, he ain't. So give him his regular season MVP. Say goodbye. Exit. We have some parting gifts for you in the second round. Same old, same old. Okay. So you got your MVP. You're going to leave the stage, exit stage left
this dude,
after the second round. I'm
asleep. Is playing on a really, really special level right now. He's playing a really special level. Will they be favored? Probably not. But he's healthy.
No. Don't say probably.
Healthy.
Say it. Come on, Spears. Say no.
They won't be favored. But that doesn't mean I'm not leaving out the door of them winning. Like, if that dude gets on who is more unstoppable in the league right now than him? I just saw him play a couple weeks ago. And you know what, Mr. Holley, respectfully,
yes, Mr. Spears,
because I have a lot of respect for both of y'all careers. When they come to Boston, right, I want you to go and just see how amazing this dude is. TV does not do him justice. He's a guy that you have to go watch in person to see. It's like Godzilla with a basketball, man. He's just like, so incredible, man.
Mark,
so nimble.
Mark, I'm familiar with his work.
Yeah, I don't know that the question. I don't know that the issue is Embiid. Like, he hasn't always been dominant in the playoffs, and he's largely skated criticism, and which mainly because there was a whole lot of smoke for Ben Simmons or James Harden or Doc Rivers. I don't know that people are doubting whether Embiid's good enough to get him there, but is his supporting cast good enough to get him there?
Maxey, Harden, Tobias, like, they're gonna have to be big. Tucker's gonna have to play great defense. It has to be, certainly. They have the offensive weapons. What will they do defensively? But this is the first year I really watched him, and I was like, oh, this is scary. This is a different kind of dude.
First time he's healthy.
That can dominate a series in a Jordan-esque type way.
All right, Hall of Famer, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you for coming through. See you in Springfield real soon,
Sacramento time, baby. Give me some Sacramento,
then Springfield.
There we go.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.